It's always a good time to discuss mental health, isn't it? I think it is. A key component of who I am is through my identity as a mental health victim, sufferer. Um, it's also what enables me to be forthright because from a very early age, people started talking about me in the third person. Um, and caring people, loved ones, will send you articles or give you books in which you're spoken of as a problem to solve, you know. And when you feel so bad as to, when you feel bad enough to overcome the stigma of, I never wanted to talk about what I've now spent my whole life talking about, um, awkward feelings. But when it's a matter of life and death, you do it. And then I think it changes your whole outlook. But there's still multiple ways to go about it. And I think that the prevailing attitude is that there's a normal way to be, and then there's the goofs, the ones who didn't make it, and the way to, um, you know, to protect society is to fix the goofs, and with therapy, but drugs mostly, and or um, removing them from the group. um, but and I'm not. I mean, I didn't finish my psych degree. I'm not looking at this from an academic point of view of trying to be correct. But and yes, there are people who feel so who have feelings that make them dangerous to themselves and others. I don't know how well this microphone's working, but I just heard a person on a loud motorcycle. So just I talk about what pops into my attention. Um, I just said there are people who have feelings that make them threatening, a danger to themselves and others. That's true every day on the roads. um, so that's true every day, but it's only identified as a problem when it interrupts commerce or the regular flow of life as we come to expect it. And I think because we're not dealing with it on a daily basis, feelings, difficult feelings, then some of the uh, extremes come about. And then we're only dealing with it when something extreme happens. And then it is true that the public discussion of mental health is often centered around violence or violence prevention. But just as I say, I'm not an academic, but just in terms of statistics, uh, there have to be so many more people struggling with their mental health who are not violent. So, what is mental health? I look at it differently than the stereotypical, typical conventional view. I look at it differently than the prevailing social view or medical view. I think that this is just speculation on my part, but it's with, it feels true to say that more harm is caused by ostracization, alienation. No, let's just say this. I think it's worth considering if more harm isn't caused by alienation than the initial problem, which is to say, what's the problem? The problem is differences in feelings, differences in regulation, differences in the ability to weather emotions, how to process them, who to trust, who to talk to, where to share it, how to express it. Um, these things are as varied as the number of people who exist. So the fact that there's a very limited acceptable um, public sharing and expression of emotions um, is, in my view, the cause of many problems. What I'm saying is that there is a big problem caused by the prevailing desire to see something out of the ordinary and stop it, to diagnose it, to label it, to drug it, to change it. This is just my hunch here, but I think if those who are experiencing difficulty are embraced with love, and it's made sure from, like, the most important thing is inclusivity, inclusion, community. I, I, yes, I'm saying I think that more problems are caused by exclusion than the initial problem, or at the very least, consider that. I live a life that's not considered acceptable to many. And I just am coming off about 9 days of feeling like the turd and not wanting to do anything or talk to anybody. This morning, I had a dream. I woke up from a dream that was inspiring and insightful. And I believe that if I ever do get around to writing a story, there are parts of that dream that will be in the story. I don't believe in artistic genius. I don't really believe in genius because it's too weird. I don't believe in special people. I believe that we all have I believe we all have a multitude of capabilities within us. But I will say, I think that the dream I had is related to the separation I put myself through from regular life. So when we all use art, we all inject art into our bodies, into our nervous system. And we accept that and we depend on it. And we will look at certain artists' behaviors as being maybe quirky or weird, but well, it's okay because they're a weirdo artist. Maybe there's a link between aberrations and creativity, but it doesn't have to be the bad ones. This is Dillard's water, given to me by a nice person named Jar, who I believe responded to positive energy that I was putting out into the world. These kinds of things happen from time to time. I mean, we know when people, we know this happens. We know people, when we have negative energy and it leads to negative um, interactions, and when we're feeling great, positive interactions are attracted our way. Because I don't work very hard at my personal relationships, but I do work very hard on trying to improve my mental well-being, I attribute many of the positive relationships that I have to the good that I'm trying to put out into the world. This is just what I'm working on. But I have a stubborn view about mental health that I think when it comes to, if the essence of the problem is a conflict between a person, the self, and the society, I think it is valid to ask if the society is dysfunctional. And if it comes down to having to change the self to get by in a dysfunctional society, is it worth it? Survival, life, staying alive, maintaining calm, peace with others, those are valuable. But succeeding according to the terms of a flawed system, a harmful system, may not be worth it. The dream I had is specifically about this issue of failing to fit in and judging oneself harshly, except it wasn't me, it was a character. It's really great as I continue to try. I'm not a storyteller, I'm not a natural storyteller, I'm a natural abstract artist. So the opposite of narrative. So it's hard work for me to think in terms of stories. Plots, I'm really not good at. But what I am good, what comes naturally to me is thinking about characters, emotions, change, and then I have to figure out how to express that in a story. One of my biggest difficulties is that I don't like the great man theories of history. I don't believe in singular heroes. So how am I going to write a story with just a small number of main characters? It's a challenge. But anyway, as I say, this dream um, helped me see the theme of intergenerational acceptance and working on feelings of failure, not fitting in, learning to accept the self and everyone else by extension. And that when I say intergenerational, like in a way, the second generation can be working on the problems of the first generation, or that it's sort of like a relay. You know, you're handing off, this is as much as we could do this generation. What can you do? And then the next generation gets it and says, I see these challenges, and anyway, trains, helicopters, and motorcycles. I I say that this person, Jar, um, was responding to positivity that I was putting out, because I also got to experience uh, seeing them uh, respond to negativity. So you know, you go somewhere, you're doing your commerce, and you see like someone being rude and receiving rude treatment in return, and then you're nice and you get nice treatment. I think that's what I have to say about mental health. The prevailing story on mental health is that they're dangerous. They are going to treat us bad, but we treat them bad first. So what I'm saying is, if we can recognize difference and love it, I don't believe that we will have nearly as many consequences, negative consequences. It's just a theory that the what starts as an aberration doesn't reach the level of dangerous until it's condemned. And once the person experiencing aberrant thoughts is condemned, it activates hostility in return. Like I said, it's a thought, it's just an idea. I mean, for half an hour, that wasn't very good. Let other people decide. Edit it down. Maybe it'll be 20 minutes. Just edit it. Okay. Be sweet. It's good. Doing creative things is good. It's not about perfection. It's about trying and pushing forward. And each time getting a little bit more experience. And sometimes you finish and you say, I like that. I did good. This time it's more like, at least I did it. But it'll get better. Bye. Oh, I hurt myself. Love, 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 love. I have to tell myself an aside. I'm not sure. I did no sound testing. I'm not sure this is going to sound right. And if not, then it's just a rehearsal for these thoughts for some future time. Military noise distracting me. Could be a lot worse. This is, wait, how do I, oh. So yeah, I'm saying